The Mirror That Blinks. Part 1. The antique Lily stumbled upon the mirror at an estate sale tucked in the back of a dusty antique shop. It leaned against the wall behind faded paintings and cracked frames, its gold frame tangled in cobwebs. There was something about it, an elegance, a weight that drew her in. The mirror itself was tall and arched, with intricate carvings of vines and small cherubs winding along its edges. It looked like something from another century. The shopkeeper, a thin man with cloudy eyes, seemed too eager to let it go. "It's old," he muttered. "Been in storage for decades. Came from a manor that burned down. Never sold until now." Lily didn't care about the backstory. She just liked the way it looked. She bought it without a second thought and brought it home, placing it in the hallway across from her bedroom. From the moment it entered the house, the temperature in the hallway dropped. At first, Lily blamed the draft or maybe her old heater. But it was always colder near the mirror, and it never collected dust. She'd touch the glass and pull her hand away, surprised by how cold it felt, like touching ice. That first night, as she walked past to turn off the lights, she paused. The mirror reflected her, of course, but it also seemed to reflect something else. Something just behind her, in the dark corner of the hallway. She turned quickly. Nothing. Just her coat on a hook. She told herself she was being silly. But when she turned back to the mirror, her reflection hadn't moved yet. It stared at her for a beat longer than it should have. Then blinked. Part 2. The Delay. The next morning, Lily convinced herself she had imagined it. She blamed her exhaustion, or maybe a trick of the lighting. Mirrors could play with your eyes, especially old ones. But the image of that delayed blink haunted her all day. She tested it that night. She stood in front of the mirror, staring into her own eyes. Blinked. Waited. And sure enough, 2 seconds later, blink. Her reflection closed its eyes just a beat too late. She laughed nervously, backed away, then turned off the lights. But as she walked down the hall, she glanced back one last time. The mirror version of her didn't turn with her. It just stood there. Then slowly it smiled. Lily froze. Her real body was facing away from the mirror. She turned slowly, but her reflection was already back to normal neutral expression, body matching her own. She didn't sleep well that night. Over the next few days, the behavior of the mirror became more erratic. Sometimes her reflection would move a fraction slower, sometimes faster. Sometimes it wouldn't move at all. One night, she caught it mid-smirk. Her mouth hadn't moved, and then it walked away. Part 3. The Doppelganger. Started subtle. Her reflection would seem off. Maybe her arm would stay still when she reached for something. Maybe the reflection's eyes would flick to the side before hers did. But then it became unmistakable. One night, Lily stood in front of the mirror and deliberately didn't move, just stared. After 10 seconds, her reflection tilted its head. Lily gasped and stepped back. The reflection didn't follow. It stood where she had stood, head cocked, eyes narrowing. Then, slowly, it lifted a hand and waved. Lily ran from the hallway. She stopped sleeping with the lights off. She started avoiding the mirror entirely, covering it with a sheet during the day. But every morning the sheet would be on the floor, and the mirror would be uncovered. She tried moving it to the garage. But when she returned from work, it was back in the hallway. She even asked a friend to come over. But when they looked into the mirror, they saw nothing unusual. The reflection was perfectly normal until Lily looked alone. Only she could see it. And now it had started knocking. Late at night, she'd hear soft tapping from the hallway, like fingernails brushing glass. Tap, tap, tap. Part 4. The Switch. Lily had had enough. She decided to get rid of the mirror. She grabbed a blanket, wrapped it tightly around the frame, and started dragging it toward the front door. But as she passed the hallway, something caught her eye. The mirror still hanging on the wall, unwrapped, and in ether reflection, smiling, not matching her at all. She dropped the blanket and walked toward it slowly. Her heart pounded. Her reflection was standing still now, staring with cold intensity. Lily raised her hand. The reflection didn't follow. Then, as if pulled by something unseen, Lily's hand moved forward. Her fingers brushed the glass, and it gave way, felt like water. Her hand slid through. She gasped and tried to pull it back, but it was grabbed from the other side. Her eyes widened. The reflection smirked and yanked hard. Lily screamed as she was pulled into the mirror. Part 5. Mirror Lily. She woke up in darkness. A cold, glassy floor beneath her. A void of endless reflections around her, distorted versions of herself in broken, twisted angles. They all smiled at her. Outside, in her house, the mirror shimmered. The Lily in the real world blinked, stretched her arms, and smiled softly. She walked into the kitchen and began making tea. She greeted her neighbor cheerfully. She answered texts in Lily's voice. She lived as Lily, but her eyes were too still. Her smile held too long. No one noticed. Inside the mirror, the real Lily banged on the other side of the glass. She screamed, cried, begged. Her hands bloodied as she tried to break through, but her reflection just watched and blinked.